Welcome to United Daily Updates, your trusted source for all things Manchester United. Hello and welcome back to United Daily Updates, your go-to destination for everything Manchester United. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, now is the perfect time to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We bring you the latest news, transfer updates, match analysis, and insider information about our beloved Red Devils. This is where the United family comes together to stay informed and share our passion for the club. Today we have some exciting transfer news to discuss. Manchester United are looking at a young midfielder from France who could be the next big thing at Old Trafford. This is a story that every United fan needs to know about because it could shape the future of our midfield for years to come. The big question: who is Manchester United's next midfield target? Let me ask you something. When was the last time you felt truly excited about a Manchester United midfield signing? When did you last see a young player come in and think, this kid is going to be special? The midfield has been a problem area for United for quite some time now. We have seen players come and go. Some worked out, many didn't. But the search continues. The club is always looking for that perfect combination of youth, talent, skill, and potential. Right now, Manchester United are very interested in an 18-year-old midfielder playing in France. His name is Ayyoub Bouaddi, and he plays for Lille. If you haven't heard of him yet, don't worry. By the end of this article, you will know everything you need to know about this exciting young talent. But here is the thing. United need to move fast. Other big clubs are watching him too. Juventus are keeping a close eye on the situation. And when big clubs start circling, things can move very quickly in the transfer market. So let's dive deep into this story. Who is Ayyoub Bouaddi? Why does Manchester United want him? What makes him special? And most importantly, can United actually get this deal done? Understanding Manchester United's midfield problem. Before we talk about Bouaddi, we need to understand why Manchester United are even looking for midfielders in the first place. What is going on at the club right now? The simple answer is that the midfield needs help. This is not a new problem. United fans have been talking about midfield issues for years now. Even with all the money spent on transfers, the midfield still doesn't feel quite right. Look at the current situation. United have some good midfielders. But do they have enough? Do they have the right balance? Do they have players who can control games the way the best teams in Europe control games? These are questions that Ruben Amorim is asking himself right now. Amorim is the new manager at Manchester United, and he has big plans. He wants to build something special at Old Trafford. And to do that, he knows he needs to strengthen the midfield. According to sources close to the club, Amorim wants to bring in 2 new midfielders. Not 1, but 2. That tells you how serious the situation is. One midfielder will come in January during the winter transfer window. Another will arrive next summer. This is a clear plan. This is a manager who knows what he wants and is working with the club to make it happen. The Kobbie Mainoo situation. Here is something interesting that connects to this whole story. Kobbie Mainoo, the young midfielder who broke into the first team last season, is reportedly unhappy with his playing time. Mainoo is a talented kid. United fans got really excited when he started playing for the first team. He showed quality. He showed maturity beyond his years. Many people thought he would become a regular starter very quickly. But things haven't worked out that way. Mainoo is not getting as many minutes as he would like. He is frustrated. He wants to play more football. And according to reports, he might go out on loan in January. This is where the pieces start to fit together. If United sign a new midfielder in January, it makes sense for Mainoo to go on loan. He would get the playing time he needs somewhere else. He would develop and gain experience. And when he comes back, he would be ready to compete for a place in the team. This is smart planning from Manchester United. They are thinking about the present and the future at the same time. Who are Manchester United's top midfield targets? Now let's talk about the players United are looking at. Who is on their shortlist? The club has been watching several midfielders very closely. 3 names keep coming up again and again. Elliot Anderson from Newcastle United, Adam Wharton from Crystal Palace, and Carlos Baleba from Brighton. These are all talented players. They are all playing in the Premier League. They all have qualities that would help Manchester United. But here is the problem. Getting any of these 3 players in January would be very difficult. Why? Because their clubs don't want to sell them. Especially not in the middle of the season. These players are important for their teams. Newcastle, Crystal Palace, and Brighton are all having good seasons. They need these players. And even if the clubs were willing to sell, the price would be very high. Premier League clubs know that Manchester United have money. They know United are desperate to improve. so they will ask for huge transfer fees. This is the reality of the transfer market. When everyone knows you need something badly, the price goes up. So what does Manchester United do? They look at other options. They look at players who might be easier to sign. Players who might cost less money. Players who are young and have potential. This is where Ayyoub Bouaddi comes into the picture. Who is Ayyoub Bouaddi? Let me introduce you to Ayyoub Bouaddi. He is 18 years old. He plays for Lille in France. And according to people who watch French football closely, he is something special. Bouaddi is a midfielder with a lot of talent. He can play in different positions across the midfield. He has good technical skills. He can pass the ball well. He reads the game intelligently. And for someone so young, he plays with a lot of maturity. Lille is a good club for young players to develop. They have a history of finding talented youngsters and helping them grow. Think about players like Eden Hazard, Nicolas Pepe, and Raphael Leo. They all played for Lille before moving to bigger clubs. Bouaddi is following in those footsteps. He has been getting game time in League One, which is one of the top 5 leagues in Europe. Playing at that level at just 18 years old is impressive. It shows that his coaches trust him. It shows that he can handle the pressure. But what makes him interesting to Manchester United specifically? What do they see in him? Why Manchester United are interested in Bouaddi? According to transfer insider Dean Jones, Manchester United really like Bouaddi. They have watched him play many times. This is not a player they just discovered last week. They have been following him for a while now. United scouts have attended multiple Lille matches to watch Bouaddi. They have studied his performances. They have analyzed his strengths and weaknesses. They have done their homework. And what they see is a player who fits the profile of what Manchester United want. Young, talented, with room to grow. Someone who can be developed into a top player. Someone who can be part of the club for many years. Here is an important point. Bouaddi is not seen as a solution for right now. He is not ready to walk into the Manchester United first team and start every game. That would be too much pressure for an 18-year-old moving to a new country and a much bigger club. Instead, Bouaddi is seen as part of the longer plan. He would come to United and be gradually integrated into the team. He would learn from the experienced players. He would get minutes here and there. And over time, he would develop into an important player for the club. This is smart thinking from Manchester United. Not every signing needs to be about the here and now. Sometimes you need to think 2 or 3 years ahead. What Dean Jones said about the situation. Let me share exactly what Dean Jones, a respected transfer insider, said about this situation. His words give us a real insight into what is happening behind the scenes at Manchester United. Jones said that Manchester United are a little bit stuck when it comes to adding to their midfield. Why? Because their top options are difficult to unlock. We talked about Anderson, Wharton, and Belieber earlier. These are the players United really want. But getting them is proving very hard. This situation is making people at the club wonder about other players. Players who are not as important for the present but still fit the longer plan. And Bouaddi is one of those players. Jones confirmed that United really like Bouaddi. They have watched him many times. But here is the crucial part. They are aware that other clubs are also interested in him. And things are getting to the stage where someone might make an offer for him in January. Juventus are looking at the situation closely. The Italian giants are always on the lookout for talented young players. They have a history of signing youngsters and developing them. If Juventus make a move for Bouaddi, it might force Manchester United to make a decision sooner rather than later. This is the key phrase. Sooner rather than later. United might not have been planning to move for Bouaddi in January. Maybe they were thinking about next summer. But if other clubs start making offers, United might have to act now or risk losing him. The competition from Juventus. Let's talk more about Juventus because they are a serious threat in this race. Juventus are one of the biggest clubs in Europe. They have won Serie A many times. They have won the Champions League. They have a huge reputation. And for a young player like Bouaddi, playing for Juventus would be a dream come true. Juventus also have a great track record with young players. Look at players like Paul Pogba, Kingsley Coman, and Matthijs de Ligt. These players went to Juventus at a young age and developed into stars. So if Juventus come in with an offer for Bouaddi, it will be tempting for both the player and Lille. Juventus can offer Champions League football. They can offer regular playing time. They can offer a clear path to the first team. What can Manchester United offer that Juventus cannot? The Premier League. The biggest league in the world. Higher wages. A bigger global platform. and the chance to be part of rebuilding one of the most famous clubs in football. But United need to move quickly. If they wait too long, Juventus might wrap up the deal. And once a player agrees to join another club, it becomes very hard to change their mind. Why January could be the right time to move? You might be wondering why Manchester United would want to sign Bouaddi in January instead of waiting until summer. There are several good reasons. First, if they wait until summer, the competition will be even bigger. More clubs will be interested. The price might go up. It will be harder to convince the player to choose United over other options. Second, signing him in January gives him 6 months to settle in before next season. He can train with the team. He can learn how the manager wants to play. He can get used to life in England. By the time the new season starts in August, he will be ready to contribute. Third, as we mentioned earlier, signing a midfielder in January might allow Kobbie Mainoo to go on loan. This solves 2 problems at once. United get a new young midfielder with potential, and Mainoo gets the playing time he needs. Fourth, showing ambition in the January transfer window sends a message. It tells the fans that the club is serious about improving. It tells the players that the club wants to compete for trophies. It tells other potential signings that United is a club on the rise. What would Bouaddi bring to Manchester United? Let's get into the details of what kind of player Bouaddi is and what he would bring to Manchester United. Bouaddi is primarily a central midfielder. He is comfortable playing in the middle of the park where he can influence the game. He is not a defensive midfielder who sits in front of the back four. He is not an attacking midfielder who plays close to the strikers. He is somewhere in between. Think of him as a box-to-box midfielder. Someone who can defend when needed but also join the attack. Someone who can cover ground and help out all over the pitch. His passing is one of his strongest qualities. He can play short passes to keep the ball moving. He can play longer passes to switch the play or start attacks. He makes smart decisions with the ball. He does not give it away cheaply. His vision is also impressive for someone so young. He can see passes that other players might miss. He can find teammates in good positions. This is a quality that cannot really be taught. You either see the game this way or you don't. And Bouaddi seems to have this natural ability. Physically, he still has room to develop. He is only 18 years old. His body is still growing and getting stronger. But he already shows good stamina. He can run for 90 minutes. He does not fade in the second half of games. Defensively, he is willing to work hard. He will track back and help his team. He will put in tackles. He is not afraid of the physical side of the game. This is important because the Premier League is more physical than League One. Players need to be ready for that challenge. One thing that stands out about Bouaddi is his composure. He does not panic on the ball. Even when he is under pressure, he stays calm. He makes good choices. This mental quality is huge. Many young players struggle with the pressure at big clubs. But Bouaddi seems to have the right mentality. How would Bouaddi fit into Ruben Amorim's system? Now let's think about how Bouaddi would fit into the way Ruben Amorim wants Manchester United to play. Amorim has a clear philosophy. He likes his teams to control possession. He wants them to press high and win the ball back quickly. He wants his midfielders to be comfortable on the ball and able to play under pressure. Bouaddi fits this profile well. His passing and composure would be valuable in a possession-based system. His willingness to work hard would help with the pressing. His intelligence would help him understand the tactical demands. Amorim also likes to work with young players. At his previous club, he gave opportunities to youngsters and helped them develop. He is not afraid to trust young talent. This is perfect for someone like Bouaddi who needs a manager who believes in him. The transition would not be immediate. Bouaddi would need time to adapt. Moving from Lille to Manchester United is a huge step up. The pressure is different. The expectations are different. The level of competition is higher. But with the right management and support, Bouaddi could grow into an important player for United. Maybe not this season. Maybe not even next season. But within 2 or 3 years, he could be a regular starter and a key part of the team. The financial side of the deal. Let's talk about money because that always plays a big role in transfers. How much would Bouaddi cost? This is hard to say exactly because transfer fees are negotiated between clubs. But we can make some educated guesses. Bouaddi is young and has a lot of potential. But he is not yet a proven star. He has not played at the highest level for very long. This means his price should be reasonable compared to more established players. I would guess that Lille would want somewhere between £20 and £35 million for Bouaddi. This is a significant amount of money, but not crazy by modern standards. Manchester United have spent much more on other players. Compare this to what Anderson, Wharton, or Belieber would cost. Those players would probably cost £50 million or more. Some might cost over £70 million. Suddenly, Bouaddi starts to look like good value. From a financial perspective, signing Bouaddi makes sense for United. They get a talented young player for a reasonable price. They invest in the future. And if he develops as expected, his value will increase significantly. There is also less financial risk with a younger player like Bouaddi. If things don't work out, United can sell him and probably get most of their money back. Young players with potential always have a market. The risks involved. Of course, no transfer is without risks. Let's be honest about the potential downsides of signing Bouaddi. The biggest risk is that he might not adapt to the Premier League. Some players struggle when they move to England. The style of play is different. The pace is faster. The physical demands are higher. Not everyone can handle this transition. There is also the risk that he might not develop as expected. Football is unpredictable. Players who look promising at 18 do not always become stars at 25. Sometimes injuries happen. Sometimes confidence drops. Sometimes players just plateau and stop improving. Another risk is that he might struggle with the pressure at Manchester United. This is one of the biggest clubs in the world. The spotlight is intense. Every mistake is analyzed and criticized. Some players thrive in this environment. Others crumble under the pressure. There is also the question of playing time. If Bouaddi does not get enough minutes, his development could stall. Young players need to play games to improve. If he is sitting on the bench most weeks, that is not good for anyone. Finally, there is the risk of paying too much. If United get into a bidding war with Juventus, the price could go up. Clubs know that United have money and sometimes they try to take advantage. United need to be smart and not overpay. These risks are real and should be considered. But every transfer has risks. The question is whether the potential reward is worth it. In Bouaddi's case, many people think it is. What Lille might think about selling. Let's put ourselves in Lille's position for a moment. How do they view this situation? Lille are a well-run club. They have a good track record of developing young players and then selling them for big profits. This is part of their business model. They know they cannot compete financially with the biggest clubs, so they focus on finding and developing talent. From Lille's perspective, selling Bouaddi in January has pros and cons. The pro is that they would get a good amount of money. They could use this money to strengthen other areas of their squad. They could invest in new players or improve their facilities. The con is that they would lose a talented player in the middle of the season. This could hurt their performance in League One. If they are competing for Champions League place or trying to avoid relegation, losing Bouaddi could make things harder. Lille will also be thinking about the price. If multiple clubs are interested, they can create a bidding war. This drives the price up and maximizes their profit. They will want to get the best possible deal. My guess is that Lille would be open to selling Bouaddi if the price is right. They know he will leave eventually. The question is when and for how much. If Manchester United or Juventus come in with a strong offer, Lille will seriously consider it. What Bouaddi himself might be thinking. Now let's think about what Bouaddi might want. Where would he like to play? For an 18-year-old footballer, the chance to join Manchester United or Juventus is incredible. These are dream clubs. Every kid who grows up playing football imagines playing for teams like this. But Bouaddi also needs to think about his career development. Where will he get the most playing time? Where will he develop the fastest? Where will he be happy? At Juventus, he might get more immediate playing time. Serie A is a bit slower than the Premier League. The pressure might be slightly less. He could develop at his own pace. At Manchester United, the potential is huge. The Premier League is the biggest league in the world. The exposure is incredible. If he succeeds at United, he becomes a global star. But the pressure is also much higher. There is also the question of money. Manchester United can probably offer higher wages than Juventus. This matters. Bouaddi and his family want to be financially secure. Higher wages mean a better life for everyone. My guess is that Bouaddi would be happy to join either club. But if Manchester United really want him, they need to convince him that they are the best choice. They need to show him a clear plan for his development. They need to make him feel wanted and valued. How United fans should feel about this. So how should Manchester United fans feel about the possibility of signing Bouaddi? Should they be excited? I think cautious optimism is the right approach. Bouaddi is a talented player with a lot of potential. If United can sign him for a reasonable price, it is a good move. He fits the profile of what the club should be doing. Young, talented, with room to grow. But fans should not expect him to be the savior of the midfield right away. He is 18 years old. He is still learning. He will need time to adapt and develop. There will be mistakes along the way. This is normal and expected. What fans should be excited about is the long-term potential. In 2 or 3 years, Bouaddi could be a key player for United. He could be controlling games and helping the team win trophies. That is the hope. Fans should also be encouraged that the club is thinking strategically. They are not just buying big names. They are thinking about the future. They are building something sustainable. This is what United need to do to get back to the top. Comparing Bouaddi to other young midfielders. Let's put Bouaddi in context by comparing him to other young midfielders in Europe right now. There are always talented young midfielders emerging. Players like Jude Bellingham, Eduardo Camavinga, and Pedri have shown what is possible. These players moved to big clubs at a young age and became stars. Bouaddi is not at that level yet. Let's be clear about that. Bellingham was dominating the Champions League at 18. Camavinga was playing for Real Madrid. Pedri was starting for Barcelona and Spain. Bouaddi has not achieved these things yet. But he is on an interesting trajectory. He is playing regularly in League One. He is improving. He is catching the attention of big clubs. These are positive signs. In terms of style, Bouaddi is probably most similar to someone like Warren Zaïre-Emery at Paris Saint-Germain. Another young French midfielder with good technical skills and intelligence. Zaïre-Emery is a bit ahead in his development, but they have similar qualities. The comparison that United fans might be thinking about is to Paul Pogba. Pogba also came through the French system and joined United as a youngster. Of course, Pogba left and then came back. His story at United is complicated, but the talent was obvious from a young age. Bouaddi is not going to be the next Pogba. Every player is different. But if he can reach even 70 or 80% of what Pogba achieved, United will be very happy. The importance of acting quickly. Let's come back to the main point. Manchester United need to move quickly if they want to sign Bouaddi. In football, timing is everything. If you wait too long, opportunities disappear. Other clubs move faster. Players choose different options. The moment passes. Right now, United have a chance to sign a talented young midfielder before the big rush starts. Before everyone realizes how good he is. Before the price skyrockets. But this window of opportunity will not stay open forever. Juventus are already sniffing around. Other clubs will follow. By next summer, Bouaddi might have 5 or 6 big clubs interested in him. The competition will be fierce. January is the time to act. Make the offer. Negotiate with Lille. Convince the player. Get the deal done. Don't wait and regret it later. This is especially important because United are also trying to sign other midfielders. If they cannot get Anderson, Wharton, or Belieber, they need a backup plan. Bouaddi is that backup plan. But backup plans only work if you execute them. What January signing would mean for the squad. Let's think about the practical impact of signing Bouaddi in January. How would it change the squad? First, it gives Ruben Amorim more options. Right now, United's midfield depth is not great. If someone gets injured or suspended, the quality drops significantly. Adding Bouaddi improves the depth. Second, it allows for Kobbie Mainoo to go on loan. Mainoo needs playing time. If he stays at United and does not play, that is bad for his development. A loan move would be better for everyone. Third, it sends a signal that United are serious about improving. Fans have been frustrated with the lack of ambition in recent transfer windows. Signing a promising young player shows that the club is trying to build something. Fourth, it gives United a head start on next season. Bouaddi would have 6 months to settle in. By August, he would be ready to contribute properly. This is better than signing him in the summer and expecting him to hit the ground running. Fifth, it might help United attract other players. When talented players see that United are being smart in the transfer market, they become more interested in joining. Success breeds success. The bigger picture for Manchester United. This potential transfer is part of a bigger picture at Manchester United. The club is trying to rebuild. They are trying to get back to competing for major trophies. For too long, United have been making short-term decisions. Signing older players on big wages. Bringing in big names without a clear plan. This approach has not worked. Now there seems to be a different strategy. Focus on young talent. Build for the future. Create a team that can compete for years, not just one season. Bouaddi fits perfectly into this approach. He is young. He has potential. He can be part of the team for a long time. This is smart thinking. But United need to be consistent with this strategy. One good signing is not enough. They need to keep making smart decisions. They need to trust the process. The next few years will be crucial for Manchester United. If they get the rebuilding right, they can return to the top. If they get it wrong, they could fall further behind. Learning from past mistakes. Manchester United have made mistakes in the transfer market before. Everyone knows this. It is important that they learn from these mistakes. What went wrong in the past? United often paid too much for players. They signed players who did not fit the system. They gave huge contracts to players who were past their best. They did not have a clear plan. The Bouaddi situation shows that maybe United are learning. They are looking at young players before they become too expensive. They are thinking about the long-term plan. They are being strategic rather than reactive. But United need to be careful not to make new mistakes. They should not get into a bidding war that drives the price too high. They should not promise things to the player that they cannot deliver. They should be realistic about his development timeline. If United handle this transfer well, it could be a turning point. It could show that the club has finally figured out how to operate in the modern transfer market. What happens if United don't sign him? Let's consider the alternative. What if Manchester United do not sign Bouaddi? What if they wait too long and lose him to Juventus or another club? First, they would miss out on a talented player. This is obvious. Bouaddi could develop into a very good midfielder. United would regret not signing him when they had the chance. Second, it would be embarrassing. If reports come out that United were interested but did not move quickly enough, fans would be angry. It would look like another example of the club not being decisive. Third, they would have to find another option. The midfield still needs strengthening. If not Bouaddi, then who? The alternatives are either more expensive or less talented. Fourth, it might make other young players less interested in joining United. If talented youngsters see that United let opportunities pass, they might prefer to join other clubs that are more decisive. The stakes are real here. This is not just about one player. It is about how Manchester United operate as a club. It is about whether they can compete with the best clubs in Europe when it comes to spotting and signing talent. The role of the scouting department. This situation also highlights the importance of Manchester United's scouting department. They are the ones who identified Bouaddi. They are the ones who have been watching him many times. A good scouting department is crucial for any big club. You need people who can spot talent before everyone else does. People who watch hundreds of games and identify the players with potential. It sounds like United scouts have done good work here. They found a player who fits what the club needs. They have done their homework. Now it is up to the people who negotiate transfers to get the deal done. In recent years, United have invested in their scouting network. They have hired new people. They have used data and analytics more. This work is starting to pay off. Players like Bouaddi do not appear on your radar by accident. You have to go looking for them. If United sign Bouaddi and he becomes a success, the scouts deserve credit. They put in the work. They identified the talent. They gave the club a chance to sign a future star. How this fits with FFP and financial rules. We should also mention financial fair play and the Premier League's financial rules. These regulations affect what clubs can spend. Manchester United have spent a lot of money in recent years. They need to be careful about FFP. They cannot just spend unlimited amounts. There are rules and limits. This is another reason why signing Bouaddi makes sense. He would not cost as much as some other targets. This leaves room in the budget for other signings. United can strengthen multiple positions without breaking the bank on one player. The club's financial people will have done calculations. They know how much United can spend in January. They know what is possible within the rules. Bouaddi probably fits comfortably within these parameters. This financial responsibility is important. United got into trouble in the past by spending too freely. They need to be smarter now. They need to make every pound count. The timeline moving forward. So what happens next? What is the timeline for this potential transfer? We are in mid-November now. The January transfer window opens on January 1st and closes on January 31st. This gives clubs about 1 month to do business. If Manchester United are serious about signing Bouaddi, they probably need to start negotiations soon. These things take time. You need to agree on a fee with Lille. You need to negotiate personal terms with the player. You need to complete medical examinations and paperwork. Starting the process in December would make sense. This gives everyone enough time to work through the details. By early January, the deal could be announced. Of course, things could move faster if Juventus make their move. If United hear that Juventus are about to make an offer, they might accelerate their own plans. Nobody wants to lose out on a player because they were too slow. The next few weeks will be interesting. Keep an eye on reports from reliable journalists. Watch for updates from people like Dean Jones who have sources inside the club. The story will develop. Advice for United fans. As a Manchester United fan myself, let me give you some advice on how to follow this story. First, do not believe everything you read. The transfer rumor mill is full of nonsense. Stories appear and disappear. Names get linked with no real basis. Be skeptical. Wait for reliable sources. Second, manage your expectations. Even if United are interested in Bouaddi, that does not mean the deal will happen. Transfers fall through all the time. There are many reasons why a deal might not work out. Third, try to enjoy the journey. Transfer windows are exciting. The speculation, the rumors, the hope of new signings. This is part of being a football fan. Have fun with it, but don't let it consume you. Fourth, remember that one signing will not fix everything. United have deeper problems that need addressing. Bouaddi could be a great addition, but he is not going to single-handedly turn United into champions. Fifth, trust the process. If United are building for the long term, we need to be patient. Success does not happen overnight. It takes time to build a team that can compete at the highest level. Why you should stay tuned to United Daily Updates. This is exactly why you need to stay connected with United Daily Updates. We will follow this story closely. We will bring you updates as they happen. We will separate the facts from the fiction. Our YouTube channel is the best place to get reliable Manchester United news. We do not just repeat rumors. We analyze situations. We give you context. We help you understand what is really happening at the club. Make sure you are subscribed. Turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Join our community in the comments. Share your thoughts and opinions. This is where United fans come together. We will be watching the Bouaddi situation very closely in the coming weeks. If there are developments, you will hear about them here first. If the deal progresses, we will break it down for you. If it falls through, we will explain why and look at alternatives. Other transfer news to watch. While we are talking about transfers, there are other stories United fans should be watching this winter. We mentioned the interest in Anderson, Wharton, and Belieber. These stories are not going away. United still want to strengthen the midfield. Even if they sign Bouaddi, they might still try for one of these more established players. There is also speculation about outgoing transfers. Who might leave United in January? Are there players who are not in the manager's plans? Could United sell anyone to raise funds? The striker position is another area of interest. United might want to add more firepower up front. Names like Victor Gyökeres keep getting mentioned. Could United make a move? And what about the defense? United have conceded too many goals this season. Do they need defensive reinforcements? This is something to monitor. The January window is always busy. Multiple stories will develop at the same time. United Daily Updates will cover all of them. Stay tuned. Final thoughts on Ayyoub Bouaddi. Let's bring this back to Bouaddi one more time before we wrap up. Is he the perfect solution for Manchester United's midfield problems? No, probably not. He is too young and inexperienced to be that. Is he an exciting prospect who could develop into an important player? Yes, absolutely. Everything we hear suggests he has real talent. Would signing him be a smart move? I think so. The price seems reasonable. The potential is there. And it fits with the long-term strategy. Should United move quickly? Definitely. With Juventus interested and other clubs likely to follow, waiting could mean missing out. The key question is whether Manchester United have learned from their past mistakes. Can they spot talent early and sign it before the price gets too high? Can they be decisive and efficient in the transfer market? Can they beat other top clubs to quality young players? The Bouaddi situation will give us some answers. If United pull this off, it shows they are moving in the right direction. If they miss out, it raises questions about whether they have really changed.